Welcome to Fortaleza, Giancarlo.
Thank you.
It's such an honor to have you here. Our community is very excited to have you here at Sana. And I have a few questions. I will start about this one. Let's go. So, in a time when so much of the relationship between artists and audiences happens through social media, what still makes in-person events like Sana so meaningful to you?
For me, it's an opportunity to have people get to know me. I tell my children that texting is not talking. Social media is a way of validation that is not really the truth. It can be misleading. It's been a great tool for people to communicate and keep in touch, but there's nothing like being in person. And I think people get a different impression of each other when they're able to connect in person. So to be here at Sana means the world to me because you get a chance, I have an opportunity to experience the people that I've affected on screen and through the media in person, to have an experience of them and for them to have an experience of me.
Awesome. A little about Breaking Bad, okay? Gus Fring rarely shows emotion on the surface, yet some of his most memorable moments come from incredible subtle choices, like straightening his tie after the explosion at Casa Tranquila, or the slight change in his expression when remembering Max. Did you create an inner emotional world for Gus that existed only for you as an actor, even if it was never spoken on screen? Is there something about his motivations that you feel most viewers still haven't noticed?
I try to create an emotional life for every character I play. Gustavo Fring was one that was most complete because I understood him on a different level, and I understood that his public persona as a waiter is everything to your satisfaction. Can I get you a refill? Making people feel comfortable in his restaurant when he's wearing his yellow shirt and his black tie. And then understanding his workers outside of that in the world that he created, that he's grown to be a kingpin in. So there's many different faces that he wears. But besides the face that you see, there's a whole inner life that you don't know about that I had created for Gus, because I feel like what you see is not what is really the truth. And if I had no emotion in what I was saying, but had an inner life that was playing like a recording inside of me, it would show in my eyes. And you could either catch it and read it, or you could take that and understand that to be a complete Gus. So I always carry a secret as Gustavo. In every scene I played, I am thinking something that could be outrageous or something that you're not thinking. Because Gustavo's a person that's ahead of everyone. He's thinking way beyond the situation that's occurring right now. And he may ask a question, but it's not necessarily a literal question. It's a question that pertains to something he's thinking about that might happen tomorrow or next week. Mm-hmm. So the answer, it's a very good question. There's a whole world inside of me when I was playing Gus that existed. And I'm happy for that because it makes the character more complicated.
About The Mandalorian now, Moff Gideon seems almost fascinated by the Mandalorians. He doesn't just want to defeat them. He claims the Darksaber, wears armor inspired by them, and constantly seeks to possess the power of other cultures, including Force-sensitive cloning. In your interpretation, was that obsession driven by admiration, envy, or just his need to control everything he considered powerful?
I think a big part of the hero's journey is the antithesis of that. I think that Moff Gideon is the anti-hero. I think he once was a hero who wanted to do good, but no one chose him to stand up. And so he became, the warden of this certain part of the empire, and he was looking around and everything is collapsing. So he then uses his power to take over. And I think a lot of it is admiration. He's a very strong and powerful warrior, and he feels like he's stronger than Mando and can do it better than what Mando is doing. So he turns. And so for me, he's a very fascinating character because he feels as if he has the expertise to take over everything, but he does it in a very nefarious way. And for me, I feel like he's ultimately the greatest Darth Vader that ever lived, and that the dark saber really does belong to him. And so I love playing this character because, very different than other characters I've played, he has the opportunity to actually know how to use the dark saber. He has the opportunity to know how to fly his own TIE fighter. He has the, he says, assume I know everything. And he does, and you wonder how he does. So I like this character quite a bit because he's well informed, but he's also well equipped to do what he needs to do.
In The Boys, Stan Edgar is one of the few people Homelander genuinely seems unable to intimidate. How do you approach building that dynamic with Anthony Starr? And what did you think made Stan someone even Homelander couldn't easily break?
Say the last part again, the last sentence.
How did you approach building that dynamic with Anthony Starr? And what did you think made Stan someone even Homelander couldn't easily break?
If we could ask them to be quiet outside, that'd be great. I loved working with Anthony Starr. He's a very dynamic actor. In the first seasons of The Boys, I felt like he had the opportunity to be a very troubled human being. And the reason that Stan Edgar is able to control him and work so well is that Stan Edgar understands human nature. And he has a whole episode. In one episode, he explains to him that this is not a superhero company, Vought. This is a pharmaceutical company. He's a babysitter, Stan Edgar. So he's got to understand the children he's babysitting. He's got to understand them completely to be able to have them or manipulate them to do what he wants them to do. So he's not afraid at all of Homelander because he is the one thing that Homelander needs. Homelander is looking for a father figure, for someone to validate him, for someone to understand him. And I think this was the key for me playing Stan Edgar, to be at ease, to be very comfortable around danger, and to not be at all afraid, knowing that he had the power to kill me at any moment, but knowing he also needed advice. He also needed someone to go, it's okay, you're still the big guy. This is a pharmaceutical company, but we're going to put you at the face of everything. You can be a star. All of those things that play into behind the scenes of making someone great. So that is something I think that is an important part of all of our lives. When do you meet someone who can mentor you and empower you to be the best that you can? It becomes more and more rare because of our telephones and our online presence. We're looking for validation here. We're looking for validation when we turn the camera around from ourselves. Like we're looking as if it's a mirror in every moment to see, do I have depth right now? Do I look good? It's not how it looks at all. It's how it feels. That's what's more important. And so, I have 4 daughters, and I tell them, now that I'm divorced, they all come to me. And if there's anything I could say to human beings is to begin to validate yourself and empower yourself. It's a long process because we're all very unsure and awkward. So am I. And don't know if we're saying the right thing or doing the right thing. Because if I say the wrong thing there, I'm slammed for it. I immediately am made to feel bad. But was it the wrong thing that I said? So then I want to take it back. I want to erase my post. I want to erase my text. But what if that's really how I feel? So then we get very far away from being connected to who we really are and from just standing by what we really believe. Because if the whole world says, no, that's not how it is, then you're afraid that you're being condemned very quickly. And I understand that. But it's not until we really take a moment and be mindful about what we're saying, unlike many characters in our American world who run the country, who just all 150 texts or tweets a night. It's like drivel. It doesn't mean anything anymore. Like when you think about what you want to say before you say it, then you're being more mindful about who you really are and the image you're putting into the world.
Thank you for saying that.
Welcome.
Now I'm gonna ask you to do something. Gente, eu vou pedir para ele fazer a vaia. Aí eu vou pedir para vocês me ajudarem a ensinar, tá? Here in Ceará, we have a very famous local call. It started as kind of a bull, but today it's much more than that. It's become a tradition and a way of people to celebrate, connect, and even find each other in a crowd. We'd love to hear you do that. So I asked them to help me teach you to do that, okay? Tichina Arnold did it once and people loved it. So I think if you learn here with us and do that at the stage, the crowd will go just wild. Ok, vamos lá. 3, 2, 1, aí a gente faz, tá? 3, 2, 1. Yay!
I like it. It's fun. All right. Very, very cool.
We say that if you want to find someone from Ceará anywhere in the world, you just do that and the other person will yay again to you. Yay!
I like it. All right.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Gus.
Now you know where to find me.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You want to say something to our viewers? It's our Instagram and TikTok. You want to say something to the fans there?
Well, I just want to say how happy I am to be here. It's great to be invited. I love going to new places. Once I think I've been everywhere, and I come to Brazil and I go to Sao Paulo, and they're one kind of people. Then I come here and there's a whole different kind of people. And so I'm honored to be here, and I thank you for having me.